Bonjour tout le monde. Bienvenue au le channel. Sorry, just showing off some of my French skills right there. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time on it. Today, surprisingly, I'm not talking about the Canucks. Well, I actually did talk about them earlier today. I talked about the Elias. Oh my god, there's just glare from my window in the background. Sorry if that's a bit annoying. So I did comment on the Elias Lindholm trade, even though it was like 2 weeks ago. But today I'm talking about something a little bit more recent with the Champions League matches that happened earlier this week. It was the round of 16, Matchday 1 and 2. So leg 4, there's 4 first legs. So the matches were Copenhagen versus Man City, Madrid versus Leipzig, Real Madrid versus Leipzig, Lazio versus Bayern, and PSG versus Sociedad. So, uh, there wasn't exactly any huge games on. I'm pretty sure the better games will be next week. Like we'll have Inter play Atletico, which that should be a pretty tight matchup. It's not exactly too. Well, Inter are a pretty big team, Atleti too, but yeah. And Barcelona play Napoli next week, so those are kind of bigger matches. Well, not bigger matches, but like two actually teams playing. These ones are a little bit more lopsided. However, some of them actually didn't turn out to be that lopsided. Now, the first match we're going to be talking about is Copenhagen v Man City. So that game, Kevin De Bruyne scored 10 minutes in. This game was actually at the Copenhagen Arena, or I think it's called the Parkin. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but they're trying to take down both Manchester teams. They beat Man United at home in the group stages, but here they weren't able to do that. Kevin De Bruyne slotted home, very good shot into the side netting. 10 minutes in, but then Ederson made a bad mistake, gave it right away, and then Copenhagen capitalized. As Man City fan, I was a little bit worried it was tied, and yeah. But then again, I wasn't actually really that worried because I knew the team was going to come back. And then Bernardo Silva just, the thing with Champions League is that over 2 legs here, it's going to be really tough for smaller opponents to be bigger opponents. Bernardo Silva poked one home just before halftime. And then I tuned out actually at the half because the Canucks game was on. And I was at school when the actual game was on. I was watching the replay, but then the Canucks game was on. And then I just decided, I think City probably won, so I didn't decide not to watch the rest of the replay. And then Phil Foden ended up scoring in the 92nd minute, so they got a pretty good win there. And now moving on to the next one, we got Leipzig versus Madrid. That one was actually, there's a bit controversy in that game with, I think it was Shesko had his goal in the 2nd minute called offside, because I guess the Leipzig player interfered with the goalkeeper. Like, Shesko wasn't offside, but there was another Leipzig player apparently, like, kicked or, like, pushed the Real Madrid goalkeeper. It wasn't Kappa today. It was actually Lunin. But ref called it that a little bit weird. Like, I'm not the kind of guy to say, like, Vardrid, like, people on, like, YouTube comment sections says. I just don't really care that much. But, like, yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting call. But, I mean, what are you going to do? Brahim Diaz scored an absolutely insane goal. But then again, Madrid actually kind of, like, I mean, I know they weren't playing all their good players. Like, no Bellingham. Had Chouamani, I'm pretty sure, would played at center back today. But they still had Vinny, Rodrigo, Cruz. Those guys were playing, Valverde. So they still had a pretty decent team. And Leipzig, actually, I almost want to say, like, outplayed them. I just saw it from the highlights. I didn't actually watch the whole game. But Leipzig had a bunch of good chances. And Lunin played very well. I think he saved 9 shots or something like that. But Madrid get the win there, and going back to the Bernabeu, I gotta think they're gonna have that tie in the bag. Although you never know, though, because they're only down by 1, and Leipzig's actually a pretty solid team. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now the big upset, though, of the Champions League of the 4 matches was this one. Lazio Bayern was like a big shocker. Bayern obviously coming over a terrible showing, 3-0, smashed by Leverkusen at the weekend. They're looking like they might actually not win the Bundesliga. They're 5 points back. Gotta tell you, Kane is cursed. Like, what has happened to them here? Because like, what I mean, 1-0. They lost to Lazio at the Olimpico. Now they're gonna have to win. Now they're gonna have to win. Well, they're out if they don't win at home. Yeah, Ciro Immobile with the penalty. The big story, obviously, Dio Amupikana with the red card and a penalty called against him. It was a late challenge. Do think that was a penalty. And then Immobile obviously slotted home. But, yeah, Bayern left, like, terrible. 0 shots on target that whole game. Like, not test. It was a poor showing. And Tuchel might actually wonder how long he's going to be staying there. But anyways, Harry Kane cursed. It's the big storyline there. And then the last match, not the biggest storyline surrounding PSG recently, which kind of sucks for them. Kylian Mbappe probably could end up going to Madrid. I don't know if is it confirmed? It might be. He probably will be going to Madrid though, and but he did score here in what could potentially be his last season with PSG. He hopes that he could potentially win them a Champions League, their first ever before he goes. And, yeah, 2-0 PSG. I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, I thought Sociedad, like, they actually played pretty well at home, and they're probably set up pretty well to go through the quarters. So, anyways, that's the Champions League round of 16. Next week, I think the matches are Porto plays Arsenal, Barca plays Napoli, Atleti plays Inter, and then there's one more game that I just can't quite remember what it is, but shall see it later. Usually, round of 16 isn't exactly always the best games. Like, I think quarters is when you really get the good games, and the semis. And then the final usually isn't that great. Round of 16, though, still exciting. Like, obviously, there's that upset with Lazio and Bayern. And these are the first legs, so we'll see if there will be some more entertaining second legs. And, yeah, and also the league titles kind of ramping up. The Premier League is very tight. I think Liverpool are up by 2 points, but Man City have a game in hand. So if they win their game in hand, they'll end up going 1 point top of the Prem. But anyways, that is the Champions League review. So thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Oh, by the way, I just want to mention, I recorded this already earlier today. It's kind of funny. But because I had highlights, I wanted to something new with highlights going on in the background. I took highlights from YouTube. I did credit the Zone Cat, but then I got copyrighted by UEFA. Well, UEFA didn't. I think it was just UEFA owns the video. And basically, YouTube just took it down immediately. It wasn't even posted, actually. YouTube just said, nah, you can't put this video up. So, at least I don't get a strike on my channel, which is probably good. But, yeah, so, had to redo it, but, like, not that big of a deal. Didn't take me that long. So, you get a webcam video. You get to see my face, or at least, like, part of it, because I'm wearing my glasses and my hood. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and, yeah, stay tuned to see if there's any new things going on the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.